Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel, and if you're new, welcome to this channel. My name is Alice Nyandira, and on this week I'll be sharing with you my recipe for white bread. So we're going to the ingredients we have. We're going to use warm milk, all-purpose flour, sugar, butter and yeast. And so you have to make sure that your milk or your water is warm and not hot, because hot water tends to deactivate the yeast. So in warm milk, I'll add in the yeast. And I'm going to give it a little stir, and then I'll set it aside to let the yeast bloom. And now on to the next step, you're going to now start in assembling our mixture. So in a clean bowl, I'll add the flour. So in this case, I used self-rising flour, but using all-purpose flour is just fine. Will do just fine. So after adding in 2 cups of self-rising flour in a clean bowl, the next step is to add the salt and then the sugar. So that's a tablespoon of salt. The salt is there to just add some bit of contrast to the sugar, and then a cup of sugar. Now using clean hands, you're going to now assemble and try to mix in the sugar, the salt and the all-purpose on the self-rising flour, And then the next step is to add in the egg. Here I used one large egg. And then the butter. Now the butter is the secret to a soft bread. So always make sure that you use butter when you're baking your bread. And now we're going to now start assembling it. I'm going to make sure that I mix thoroughly until I get a crumbly texture, or a sun-like texture for that matter. So slowly by slowly, you're going to now use both hands to mix in and to rub in the sugar, to rub in the salt, to rub in the butter, and to rub in the self-rising flour. Now the next step is to add in our milk. Remember, we had let this milk set after we had added in the yeast, the active yeast. And now it's now time to now mix and incorporate everything together. Now I'm going to add in a generous amount of flour to make everything to assemble and to form a ball-like dough. And then after I'm done, I'm now going to now keep on mixing and mixing until I get to that good texture that I'm looking for. Now I'll keep adding flour and keep on kneading and kneading until it gets to that point that I'm happy with how the dough looks, and that there is no longer need for me to add any more flour in the mixture. Now once I feel like the mixture no longer requires more flour, I'm not going to now keep on kneading until everything is formed together and there is no excess flour left onto the dough. And at this point, as you can see, everything is beginning to fall in place. So I'm just going to keep on kneading until I no longer see any excess flour onto the dough. And then I'm now going to add in cooking oil. And keep on kneading until everything is now fully incorporated. The next step is to cover this dough for up to an hour or until it doubles in size. I used cling film. You can use a kitchen towel. It still works best. And you want to open it up once the dough is doubled in size. And now here's a pro tip on how to quickly make your dough double in size. You can go ahead and use a double boiler. So in a saucepan, you're going to heat water. If it starts to boil, you're now going to add in your bowl. And this will quicken the process, and it won't take much of your time. So as you can see, the dough is already doubled in size, and It's now time to now start forming and to roll and to knead and to make and to form the shape of a bread. Now always make sure you dust your working surface because it prevents the dough from sticking onto your surface. Now using your rolling pin, you're going to spread, fold, spread, fold severally. Now spread, fold, spread, fold. Now remember to dust your dough for it to prevent it from sticking. Now as you can see, I'm now starting to tuck the ends, and this is like a bread-like shape. Now you take your pan, and of course you're going to apply butter, add in some flour, and then now you take the dough and you place it in your prepared pan. And of course you want to spread the dough onto every corner of the pan. And once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm now going to brush in milk. Now milk is also responsible for the browning of the baked products at the top. If you don't have milk, you can go ahead and use your eggs. Works the same. And again, I'm going to put in hot water in a pan, and then place the pan with the dough to help it to double in size. And once I'm happy with how the dough looks, I'm going to bake it in a preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Now I place the pan in the middle of the oven for it to bake evenly. And then now I'm going to adjust the temperatures of the oven. And now 20 minutes later, the bread is well baked. It's browned on top. Now, and once I'm happy with how it looks, of course, I'll remove it from the pan. And look at that. That's a nicely baked bread. Now, I never really cut this bread because it was an order, breakfast order. But next time I promise to cut it open. So that's it. That's my easy recipe for bread. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and see you in the next video.